do not rebuke me in your anger, or discipline me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are shaking with terror. My soul is also struck with terror, while you, O Lord, how long? Turn, O Lord, save my life. Deliver me for the sake of your steadfast love. For in the death there is no remembrance of you. In Sheol, who can give you praise? I am weary with my mourning. Every night I flood my bed with tears. I drench my couch with my weeping. My eyes waste away because of grief. They grow weak because of all my foes. Depart from me, all you workers of evil, for the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. The Lord has heard my supplication. The Lord accepts my prayer. All my enemies shall be ashamed and struck with terror. They shall turn back and in a moment be put to shame. O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, or discipline me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are shaken with terror. My soul also is struck with terror, while you, O Lord, how long? In my daily prayers, there's always a few things that I always say. And one of the first things that I kind of start off with is, O Lord, please forgive me of my sins. Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. And in the back of my mind, I can feel a frustration building, not because I feel God is demanding that I have to say these things, but because I am saying them again. I've turned away from God and chose other things rather than Him. And I sometimes wonder how many mistakes are enough mistakes, or how many sins are enough sins. I often get asked, is there anything I disagree with in the Bible? And I turn around to them and I go, there's nothing that I disagree with in the Bible, but there is something that I find difficult. And it's in James chapter 1 verse 20. For your anger does not produce God's righteousness, or man's wrath does not produce the righteousness of God. If it was up to me and people kept on making the same mistake, or they kept on doing the wrong things, eventually I would say, you've dug your own grave, enjoy yourself. But that's not what we see in the Bible. Throughout the Bible, it's a collection of stories of people constantly rejecting God, despite Him keep coming back and rescuing them. And then they turn around and reject Him again and again and again. And you keep on seeing God sending people to turn them back to Him, bringing them salvation. And then He sends His Son to save the world. It reminds me of a story in the Old Testament, a man called Hosea, and one day God told him, go marry this woman, Gomer, who is a prostitute. And like any man who gets a weird voice in his head telling him to marry a woman, he does. And he marries Gomer and they have 3 children. And then one day he wakes up to find that his wife is gone. And the Lord said to him in chapter 3, the Lord said to me again, go love a woman who has a lover and is an adulteress, just as the Lord loves the people of Israel, though they turn to other gods and love the raisin cakes. So I brought her for 15 shekels of silver and a homer of barley and a measure of wine. Hosea had to walk across the streets that everyone knew him as a prophet, and people would be looking at him going, that's Hosea, isn't his missus with another bloke right now? And all the gossip going around this town and the shame that brought him and his children. And he knocks on the door of this man and says, my wife's inside, I would like her back. And the man goes, you can have her back, but you have to pay me to have your wife back. And that's what Hosea does. He buys back his wife. And I think the parallel between Hosea and Jesus is not a mistake here. We see Jesus walking across sinful, broken humanity, people who constantly rejected him and scorned him and killed him, and says, no, I'm buying you back. I'm buying my children back so I can have a relationship with you. So all the burdens, the weights, the sins that you hold on your shoulders, you can give them to me. It says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Thank God that our understanding of justice isn't based on our wants and our needs and our emotions, but it's based on God's unending grace, mercy, and forgiveness. So when I come to my prayers and I say, oh Lord, please forgive me again, there is a weight lifted and a knowing that there is no limit. And you might think to yourself, well, you don't know the things that I've done. I often hear people say, oh, I invite them to church and they go, oh, I'll set on fire if I walk in those doors, or oh, I've done too many things. And I remind them, and I go, the author of the New Testament, there were a handful, but the majority of the letters was written by Paul, and he was a murderer. He killed Christians. He was there at the stoning of Stephen. He was gleeful at his death. And then God, Jesus, intervened in his life and said, why are you persecuting me, Paul? There is no sin too great that is stopping you from having a relationship with Jesus. The only thing stopping you is yourself. You might be thinking, oh, it's too great, or I've done too much. And that is simply not true, as we hear about Saul who became Paul. So my challenge for me and for you is, when we come into our prayers and we ask for forgiveness once again, remind ourselves that it's not a burden on God. There's not a time limit. There's not a limit. It is unending. God bless.
Wayward child of mine, I would sacrifice my all just to see your smile unveiled from